Okay, we're going to have some brief notes on ancient India, and you need to remember to do your own numbering, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., and then A, B, C, and I'll kind of help you as we go along. And then you're going to have to answer some questions using the notes. So, first of all, little map, which you've already done, but there's the Indian, what we call subcontinent. Subcontinent because there's the continent, right? Southwest of China, and then you got the European continent right there. And of course, next we're going to do China, and then we've already done Egypt and Mesopotamia, the Fertile Crescent. So western part, and then now eastern part. Okay, so the India is going to develop on what's called the Indus River, and as the Nile in Egypt and the Tigris and Euphrates in Mesopotamia and Wanghe in China, this is the Indus Valley, and you can see the time period. Remember BCE, before the Common Era. So this is number 1, Indus Valley. And then you would have A, geography, and then you indent for the second and third lines. So I've already mentioned the subcontinent. Monsoons are going to be wet rains or dry rains, depending on the season. And the wet ones are going to bring in the moisture, as you can see, and they're going to cause flooding, much as the Nile in Egypt flooded. But they're also going to help the people make fertile soil. Okay? And you can see the Indus River, and we're actually going to do something on the Harappan people and Mohenjo-Daro, which are the first 2 small settlements that are going to grow up on the Indus River Valley. Okay, so the wet winds come in the summer, and they're coming from the water, and you have to know where the Arabian and Bay of Bengal is. And then and these are mountains, by the way, which we're going to get to in a second. And then in the winter, the monsoons are dry, and they're coming from the land to the water, and that makes sense. If they're starting on the land, they don't have moisture to carry, so it's just windy. So summer, wet because come from the water, and winter, dry monsoons. Okay, so number 2 now are the Aryans. The Aryan, I want you to think about the word Aryan, and where have you heard it before? Perhaps if you remember, if you've ever studied Hitler, he talked about the Aryan race, white, blue eyes, that's where we come from. I live in a country called Iran, which is the modern successor to Persia, and Iran is a derivative, meaning comes from the word Aryan, so Iranians are Aryans, and you can see this time, and they are going to come into India in this time period, 1500 to 500 BCE. So the Indo-European, if you recall, the Indo-European language came, the Hittites brought it down from into the Middle East region that we talked about in our last unit, and they're going to, so this is 2 now, Aryans, A, B. They're going to come through the Khyber Pass, which I'm going to show you in a second. A pass, you need to know this, is land between mountains. And then they're going to blend, they're going to blend their beliefs. They're going to combine their beliefs with the Indians' belief. And by Indians, again, people from India. Okay? So here is the Indus River Valley. Harappans were here. Mohenjo-Daro was here. This is the Indian subcontinent. Here is the mountain range. And the Khyber Pass is going to be in here. And the Indo-Europeans are going to come this way. Okay, and that's just another way of seeing it. And the mountain range, and I didn't write it down, but I want you to know it. I'm going to spell it for you. Is Hindu Kush. Hindu, Hindu, Kush, Kush. So the Khyber Pass is in the Hindu Kush Mountains, and you can see there's these tremendous mountains here, and here are the biggest one in the world, Everest in the Himalayas. And you can see the Hindu Kush Mountains there in the background. And this is the Khyber Pass. You can see mountain on the left, mountains on the right, and then flatter region in the middle. Okay, The language they're going to use, and this is the last thing you need to do, is going to, so 3 would be Sanskrit is their writing, and priests write it down because they're writing prayers, and the prayers are called Vedas, V-E-D-A-S. And it's not just prayers, but hymns and any religious teachings. And traditionally, the most educated people in history have always been religious people. Back when most people were illiterate, priests were literate. Literate meaning they could read and write. And there you have some Sanskrit. And I'm sorry, I have one more thing. And the Aryans are going to be the nobles, and the native Indians are going to be the Dravidians. And what they're going to develop is a caste system, and that's what you're going to talk about now. And the caste system puts the native Indians on the bottom and the Indo-Europeans, the Aryans, on the top. And that was a way to control them. So again, the Aryans are the nobles on top, and they are going to put the Dravidians, the Indians, on the bottom. That's it.